A sweltering afternoon shifts into a steamy evening here in the Rose City of Portland, Oregon, as we're set for Portland Timbers 2 and Swope Park Rangers. And with that, we welcome you to Merlo Field and into the broadcast booth alongside two-time MLS Cup champion and former Portland Timber, Nat Borchers. I'm Fletcher Johnson. Nat, Portland Timbers 2 in the midst of a four-match losing streak. The goals have dried up, but it's been more along the back line that has created problems for Cameron Knoll's side in this streak.
Yeah, Fletcher, and for T2, really, they've given up a lot of goals, be it defensive mistakes, individual mistakes, conceding goals on set pieces, run of play, counterattacks. They've conceded 11 goals in the last 4 games, and so really the onus right now is on that defensive unit to really buckle down and try to get a result against a very dangerous Swope Park Rangers tonight.
Yeah, meanwhile, for Swope Park, Paulo Nagamura in his first year leads a side that's made the USL Cup final in the last 2 seasons, and youth is the name of the game for this side, an average age of 20.5 years old on this roster, and they do things very similar to the way Sporting Kansas City does.
Certainly, and it's in the mold of their counterparts, Sporting Kansas City. They are physical, they are direct, they like to dictate play with their possession. They're going to be a very difficult side to mark, especially in the box and on counterattacks. Paulo Nagamura's got this team dialed in.
Yep, we look at the players to watch in this one. We'll start off with the visitors for Swope Park, and it's Haji Berry, 7 goals and 4 assists so far this season. The 7 goals lead Swope Park.
And Haji Berry's got that unique set of athleticism and skill and ability to run those channels. So I look for him to be coming in and being dangerous on the wings and especially being dangerous in the box. T2's got their work cut out for him on the back line.
The Orlando City product in his first season with Swope Park. Meanwhile, for T2, Roy Miller makes his 3rd consecutive start along the back line as he recovers from that torn Achilles, and he brings a wealth of experience to that back line.
And when you're struggling, Fletcher, and you need to get results, you need leaders, and Roy Miller is a leader. He's got 150 games in MLS play. He's going to be the one who's going to have to organize that back line. He's going to have to make sure that all the players know their roles, and certainly the first 15 minutes are going to be the most important for this back line.
5th ever meeting between Portland Timbers 2 and Swope Park Rangers, with the visitors maintaining a 3-1 advantage. T2's lone win back in June of 2016. They will try and pick up a 2nd against Swope Park here this evening. Starting lineups and opening kickoff from Merlo Field are And welcome back to Merlo Field here as we're just about set for kickoff between Portland Timbers 2 and Swope Park Rangers. Let's go ahead and take a look At our starting lineups, we'll start off with the visitors, Swope Park Rangers. 5 changes from a 3-1 loss to Sacramento Republic back on July 10th. A 4-3-3 in front of Adrian Zendejas. Nat, Colton Storm, Parker Marr are your starters at the outside back position. They like to get forward and into the attack.
Yeah, and with this 4-3-3 lineup, Fletcher, it's very important for those guys to get the width, to get forward, to really provide width so that the big guys up top can get in the box and they need to provide service, those guys up top, but consequently, they can leave some spacing behind. That's where T2 can get you.
Meanwhile, for Portland Timbers 2, 4 changes from last time out, a 4-2 loss to Fresno FC. Really the interesting thing here, Nat, is Eric Williamson moved into the attacking midfield. Andre Lewis slides in alongside Renzo Zambrano.
And when you sacrifice a striker for a midfielder, you're going to get more opportunities to dictate the game with your possession, and it's going to be very important for Foster Langsdorff to stay as high as he possibly can.
Whistle comes from our head referee, Robbie Holner, and we are underway here at Merlo Field. Portland Timbers 2 and Swope Park Rangers. Timbers 2, 8-8-2 so far on the season, 26 points in 7th place in the Western Conference. The visiting Swope Park Rangers, 9-5-4 on 31 points. Good enough for 4th place in the Western Conference of USL. As early ball comes in and over the top of Jack Barmby and Foster Langsdorff, and out for an early goal kick for Adrian Zendejas, making his 7th start in net for Swope Park this year. 2 clean sheets so far this season for Zendejas.
And early on, I'm looking to see the kind of pressure that both teams are able to exert against each other. And for Kansas City, for Swope Park, I'm really looking to see how much pressure they put on this back line of T2.
Ball already rolled across the end line on the other side of the field, and Kendall McIntosh will get his first touch on things, making his 9th start and 2nd consecutive after about a month-and-a-half break from playing for T2, as he is on loan from the MLS Timbers. Temperature about 89 degrees here at kickoff. Did water the field immediately before the players came out to help with the movement of the ball, and this one forward for Marvin Loria, who's able to get on the end of it. His first real action of the match. Lays it off for Andre Lewis, who's making the run into the box, takes the shot, and it's saved by Zendejas. Lewis struck it with his left boot, couldn't get enough on it though. And T2 get their first opportunity in the first 2 minutes.
Now, what a lovely run here from Andre Lewis, just getting forward early on in this game. If you think the final touch could have been a bit better, he gets a little bit more on that shot. It could have been a goal early on for T2, but certainly good active moments for T2 early on.
Lewis will certainly be looking to impress, making his 15th appearance of the season. Now Blackwood dribbling forward at Nathan Smith, takes the shot himself and easily picked up by Kendall McIntosh.
Get an early taste of Tyler Blackwood out there on this right-hand wing. He's very shifty for a man his size. He's going to be also dangerous on those set pieces with as tall as he is, and certainly those wingers are going to be something that T2 is going to have to be aware of. They are very dangerous going forward.
Zendejas quickly off his line to pick it up. Swope Park in the midst of 5 matches in an 18-day span. This is match number 3. They traveled out to the West Coast to play Sounders 2, then back home for a matchup against Sacramento in which they lost, and now back to the West Coast once again to play T2 for Orange County and Rio Grande Valley, all by July 22nd. Tough stretch here for the Rangers in the middle part of the season.
And we're seeing T2 just get set in their nice defensive block here. Very important for that back line to show early on that it is composed. It does have nice structure to it. Guys are chirping at each other. Guys know that it's very important they get connected and stay strong. It's going to be a big test for them tonight against Swope Park.
T2 have struggled as of late, as we've mentioned. Still so many positive numbers for this side though, but having given up 11 goals in the last 4 matches, haven't been able to find the back of the net, just 3 goals in their last 3 matches. And the disappointing part, as Cam Knowles pointed out, Nat, is 3 of these losses came at home. And those are just points you can't give up. You're expected to win at home. You need to win at home. Now, some of that is salvaged by the road form, especially early in the year, that T2 have had. But they've got to rediscover their form here at Merlo Field and/or Providence Park, wherever the match might be.
Yeah, if you're looking to make the playoffs, you got to build a fortress here at home, and that's the most important thing for T2. They did a great job early on in the season, and we saw being structured defensively, really doing a good job of counterattacking to score goals. And they just lost a little bit of that in the recent moments.
Ball central for Langsdorff. A cheeky little volley with his outside of his right foot just goes over the top of Zendejas' net. It had him troubled, though.
Yeah, it certainly did, and it's a good cross in. He finds just a little bit of space there and flicks the ball. Just goes over the goalkeeper, Zendejas, there. But for Foster Langsdorff, he's going to have to be the one to get in the box without having a counterpart striker to play with. He's going to be very important to provide that verticality, getting forward and making sure he's in the box in the end of those crosses.
Nathan Smith was the man who sent the ball into the box. He had some nifty touches to get by his defender, making his 6th start of the season, as this cross comes in from Mulligan towards the back post and rolls out for a goal kick.
We're already seeing some positive play here from T2. They're pushing their lines higher here in the possession. Really forcing Swope Park to play out, and they have to be careful to play out because T2's got a lot of numbers in their half at the moment.
Mulligan has been one of the stalwarts for this T2 side and does have some connection to Swope Park, which we'll tell you about momentarily.
And that's how you do it there. You press the goalkeeper, you make sure that you don't give up anything.
As Lewis loses out possession here. Felipe Hernandez thought he would get a foul call. Nothing came from Robbie Holner. And T2 keep possession until playing it out to touch near midfield.
And that Zambrano-Lewis combination in the middle, it's different now without Williamson being side by side. It's going to be important for them not to allow any gaps in that midfield, especially playing those through balls into Wilson.
Ball played near side to Blackwood. He's unable to control. Settles. Zambrano to Jadama wearing the captain's armband, making his 15th start of the season. Ball forward and picked up by Barmby. Now into space for Smith. Smith has room in front of him. Williamson to his outside. Plays him. Barmby creative with that left foot. We've seen him have some magic moments this season. Williamson wins the header. Langsdorff not making the run quickly enough, though, and Zendejas off his line to pick it up.
I expect to see a lot of that tonight from Jack Barmby. He likes to come in and play that deep-lying, creative midfielding spot. And he really just comes in. He'll create in the back, put a couple passes together, get the ball forward, and then move the lines up. And that's where he's at his best, really, is just coming forward and hopefully getting opportunities on the net.
Important touch from Smith to keep from seeing Blackwood through. Jadama will play to McIntosh. McIntosh fizzes a ball out to Barmby. Former Leicester City product. Now back to Roy Miller.
And it seems as though T2's done a good job of already pushing back those lines from Swope Park. They aren't high pressing as much as we thought we would see them early on in this game.
Ball kept in play over on the far side. It's time for a T2 throw. The man over to take it will be Jimmy Mulligan. Mulligan spent time with Swope Park Rangers in 2016, appeared in 17 matches. So he has some familiarity with the Swope Park side, albeit a couple seasons ago. And that has really provided a wealth of experience for this T2 team, having made 17 appearances, 16 starts coming into tonight.
Yeah, he's provided a lot of leadership.
Shot comes from Barmby, takes a deflection, and out for the first corner kick of the evening for T2.
Yeah, but Jimmy Mulligan has provided a lot of leadership on that back line, and as we saw early on this season, he was able to get up and down. He was really honest with his efforts, making sure he got connected with his center back. And T2 wasn't giving up a lot of goals early on. He was in those lineups, and you could see that Cam Knowles has opted to put him back in there for tonight's match.
Barmby will strike the left-footed in-swinger towards the back post. Header won by Langsdorff and headed off the line by Swope Park. T2 nearly on the board in the 9th minute before it's cleared out to midfield. It was Langsdorff who got his head to it. And T2 settle things down.
Yeah, and it's positive from T2 to get another opportunity like that on goal. Like to see Foster Langsdorff early going, get a few chances on net, because that's where he is at his most dangerous, is in that box, getting chances on goal.
Looked like it was Dakota Barnathan who was the man who cleared it off the line, as this header out to touch for a T2 throw. Quickly taken back into play to Jadama. Zambrano now forward. Williamson with Mulligan making the overlapping run. Touched away from behind. And Swope pick up possession.
It's interesting already just to see how fluid that front four has been for T2. Already seeing Williamson, Loria, and Barmby shifting positions, trying to make things interesting for that back line, that back six, back five for Swope Park.
Jadama controls into the center circle for Lewis. Andre Lewis, the Spanish Town Jamaica native, making his 15th appearance this season. Now Zambrano, the Venezuelan, finds Jack Barmby. Barmby with space to dribble forward. Through ball for Langsdorff. Zendejas off his line. Langsdorff got a touch to it. Zendejas might have as well. Holner points to the ball as it's touched down by the end line by Swope Park. Says play on.
And again, Foster Langsdorff just being very dangerous there. Jack Barmby with the final pass there to get him inside the box. Very close call there for the referee. We're going to have to get another look at that to see what happened.
Barmby under pressure. Plays back to Roy Miller. Now to Smith. Blackwood takes it off of him. And Swope brings the counterattack forward with numbers. Top of the box, 25 yards away. Shot was about to be taken by Minter. It's blocked away. Now the shot will come, and well wide of McIntosh's right post.
And we get to see another opportunity here for this PK. Looks like the keeper just gets a hand on it. Zendejas there. Very fortunate here. And then we get to see Foster Langsdorff's opportunity on the set piece. Great awareness there to head that ball back to the far post. And well done from Swope Park just to get that ball out. I believe it was Barnathan or Lewis on the back post. But good early stuff, Fletcher, here from T2. Getting numbers forward, being dangerous. Foster Langsdorff in the box. That's what you want to see. That's the recipe that Cam Knowles came up with when he put together his game plan tonight.
You know, the thing that is, it's certainly positive to see that, but it's not the first halves that have necessarily been the problem for T2. Last match it was. They did not come out very well against Fresno, but certainly in the matches that they've lost at home, they've really struggled coming out of halftime, finding some sort of rhythm, whether it was the opposing team making adjustments or something else. But really putting together a full 90 minutes is something I think Cameron Knowles would say he hasn't seen out of his team yet this year.
And that's a good point, and you see the legs get a little bit tired in second halves. You see the focus break down a little bit here and there, and that's what makes or breaks results for you, especially at this level. And very important that these players just continue to learn. We've got a lot of youth, on this team, and you learn from those mistakes and those experiences, especially in second halves, because you can play a great 89 minutes, as we all know, but if you just give up a goal or make a mistake in that final minute, it can be the difference maker in this game.
It truly has been the moments that have let T2 down, and it was the moments that gave T2 the great start to the season. Here comes T2 with numbers forward. Barmby plays for Mulligan, who's making the long run, able to knock it out off Zendejas for the second corner kick of the night for T2. Great run forward by Mulligan.
And Jack Barmby just playing provider here again. Nice ball through there to Mulligan. Zendejas has to come off his line, does a good job of making himself big, and then gives up the corner kick.
Barmby sends it in, doesn't get past the first man cleared, only as far as Lewis, though. He will control and eventually play back to Zambrano. Zambrano central for Jadama. Now out to Mulligan in the center circle. And T2 will reset.
And it's funny, that false sense of security you can sometimes get from having a lot of possession early on in games, getting a lot of chances. All it takes is one breakdown on a counterattack for for Swope Park, and you're down 1-0. So very important, especially in that middle. Renzo Zambrano, Andre Lewis, they maintain that shape. They stay in front of that back line and not give up anything easy in terms of counterattacks to Swope Park.
Mulligan on it once again. T2 have certainly had the better of the play here in the first quarter hour. But here comes Felipe Hernandez after taking the ball off of Barmby. He's got a runner out there on the left. Barry, he will play him. Barry has Blackwood in the box, tries to get through two men, unable to do so. And great work by T2 to clear. Long ball forward from Jadama. Tried to find Laurie. It was over his head, too much on it, and out to touch.
Yeah, and great defending there from Jadama. Feet moving, wasn't interested at all in any of the fakes that Barry had to give him, and certainly a big defensive stop there for that back line early on in this game. But like I said, that counterattack's going to be on when you push numbers forward, so T2 is going to have to be aware of it.
Swope Park Rangers relatively quiet so far. They did have a shot from Tyler Blackwood first 3 minutes of the match. Other than that, nothing to speak of.
I keep wanting to call him Sporting Kansas City because I see Paulo Nagamura on that bench, and I'm like, he was Mr. Sporting Kansas City for so long, had such a good career with that group. Won a couple titles, some Open Cups.
Here come Williamson driven forward. He has Langsdorff to his right, plays him. Langsdorff just wide of the... Langsdorff was just trying to curl it around him to that near post, could not do so. And a great opportunity goes begging for Portland.
And T2 saying, anything you can do, I can do better. They counterattack very well with Williamson on a break, and then it just got down the end of Foster Langsdorff. He hits it just wide of Zendejas. What an absolutely incredible opportunity for him to get on the scoreboard early on in this game.
Back to action, cleared away by Eric Williamson. Williamson, as we mentioned, really only a handful of matches in this attacking midfielder role, has tended to play holding midfielder more often, as Andre Lewis gets by a couple men, sends the ball into the box, controlled by Barmby after being Mulligan. Impressive build-up over the course of the first quarter hour from T2, but still nothing to show for it. Swope Park certainly happy that this scoreline is still 0-0.
And if you're T2, you're hoping you're going to get a little bit more out of this. The possession right here has been very, very good. Moving the ball side to side, giving some different looks in the midfield. Swope Park's really having trouble picking up these runners, picking up some of these passing lanes from T2.
Loria, haven't called his name much, finds Williamson in the middle, dribbling forward. Chance to take a shot, takes, deflected, and out for another corner kick for T2, as Barmby will trot over to take.
I think there's a soft spot there in front of that back line. Matias Silva has been asked to cover a lot of ground here, as you'll see here, that Williamson tries for the shot there, goes for a deflection, but that's very good again from T2, trying to get those shots off.
Barmby once again towards the back post. Jadama nearly gets on the end of it, but it was Matt Lewis who got there first. And it will be out for a T2 throw-in. It's quickly taken down by the end line. Nathan Smith taken down, and a foul called, so this will more or less be a short corner for T2. As you look at Paulo Nagamura in his first season as Swope Park Rangers manager, was an assistant on last year's club that made the USL Cup final. Retired from playing after the 2016 season, 12 seasons in MLS, 269 appearances, 15 goals and 21 assists, but really known for his work rate.
Yeah, he's a competitor and the kind of guy that Peter Vermes loved to have in his squad. Physical, he could dictate play with his possession, and just a winner. Really good player for Sporting Kansas City.
Williamson sends the ball in. it is headed on by a Swope Park player and now brought forward by Barry, who is fouled by Jadama.
Yeah, that's good there from Jadama. You just want to make sure that any counter-attacking opportunities, you try to nip those in the bud, and right there, an excellent opportunity to do that.
Nagamura, very well-respected player during his playing days, played for the LA Galaxy, Toronto FC, Chivas USA a couple separate times, and Sporting Kansas City as Blackwood dribbles forward on Smith, leaves for Hernandez. Now over to Minter. Minter plays to Colton Storm. Haven't called his name much tonight. Back to Minter. Tries the through ball for Barry. Deflected and picked up by Zambrano. Now to Zambrano. And they dribble the ball forward, find Langsdorf. And now to Loria. Loria has Williamson making the run. Williamson's there. Gets his chest to it, it looked like, but couldn't control it. And in the end, just out for a goal kick, but nice run by Williamson. And better pass by Loria.
And it all starts here from Renzo Zambrano. He gets the ball in the back, and it's a great cross that ends up there on the feet, on the stomach, I should say, of Eric Williamson there. Just doesn't get any opportunity to hit that with his foot or his head, just kind of in the middle there. But if you're Cam Knowles, you have to be happy so far with the offensive performance and the defensive performance of his team. But I was going to say, Renzo Zambrano starts that whole play, Fletcher. He's able to get the ball in a defensive position. He goes all the way out to the channel to win the ball, plays a 1-2, and then the ball is on the in the attacking end of the field. Just like that, a couple passes, they're able to get that counterattack and put Swope Park on the back foot.
And I think fair to say as well that you look at the start against Fresno FC, team looked a bit discombobulated, didn't necessarily know where each other were going to be. Same cannot be said for this match. Everyone seems to be on the same page, know where their fellow teammates are, and are finding them with some good passes and creative play.
You have to think that the preparation from Cam Knowles and the staff has been very good this week in terms of getting the message across that the energy has to be there, because they were a bit lethargic against Fresno, certainly, and there were some individual errors in that game, but he probably said, you know, we clean up those individual errors, we move the ball quicker. He has a new tactical idea for this game with Williamson in instead of a forward, and, you know, it's paid off thus far.
And it's taking nothing away from Fresno, a team in their inaugural season in USL. They'd won only one road match, though, coming in last weekend. And T2 were very disappointed with the performance they put out, knowing that they can do so much more. They put 2 goals in the back of the net, had chances for others, and feel like they should have done better. Barmby heads central for Langsdorf. Langsdorf one touch down off the chest. Barmby takes the shot, deflected out for a corner kick. Ball over the top. Found Barmby. Headed on to Langsdorf, who tried to find a way to put that one on net. Could not do so. Fell back to Barmby, who now sends this corner kick in. Headed away by Silva. Only as far as Miller. Now to Mulligan. Wider for Barmby. Now Loria.
Really seems like Williamson has had, Williamson and Barmby both have a license to kind of roam, as well as Loria. They're very free-flowing with those 3 players, and certainly with Foster Langsdorf up top, it's given Swope Park a ton of problems there. On that last chance with Langsdorf, I was thinking surely he may just go ahead and bike that ball. He took it down so well with his chest, had a couple good touches in the box, thought he was going to just try to bike that into the back of the net, but gives the ball back to Barmby, and unfortunately unable to create a scoring opportunity.
The USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7. Follow @USL on Twitter. Langsdorf touches around his man and into the back of the net. Langsdorf has put T2 out in front in the 23rd minute.
And this is such a deserved goal for the work rate that T2 has put into this game thus far. The movement's been good. The final touch just hasn't been there, but they get what they deserved so far.
Langsdorf now 8 goals on the season, 7 of which have come at home.
And it comes off a pass from Loria there. He just just slides that ball in behind. Foster Langsdorff doing exactly what he's paid to do. Get in between those center backs and get on the end of those balls right there. Great finish there. Zendejas has no chance. 1-0 T2.
Now has goals in consecutive matches, does Foster Langsdorff. And as we mentioned, coming in, 6 of 7 goals for Foster Langsdorff have come in the friendly confines of Portland, Oregon, whether it be Merlo Field or Providence Park. Has the only hat trick in T2 history earlier this season against Los Dos. As Lewis shields his man off the ball. Langsdorff tracking back, tries to win it, unable to do so. Lewis brings down to Silva. Certainly have to imagine that that goal can wake up Swope Park a bit. We'll see what the next 5 minutes hold.
Something I know for sure is that Langsdorff's work rate is not going to stop. He is so active up there, pestering those backs, making sure that nobody has an easy touch on the ball. Really tough to play against him up top if you're a center back.
That work rate, you talk about a big reason why Stanford won 3 straight as Mulligan heads backwards in the direction of McIntosh. Ball now falls for Blackwood, whose shot is blocked. Now fizzed across the front of Kendall McIntosh's net and out for a goal kick. Nearly a disastrous moment for the former Swope Park Ranger, Jimmy Mulligan.
And you have to imagine that if you make mistakes like that, a good team is going to punish you like Swope Park. And Jimmy Mulligan with an errant back pass there to his goalkeeper. Barry's able to get it, head it back. I believe that was
maybe even Wilson Harris.
That was Harris on the shot. I apologize. Harris on the shot. And unfortunately does in trouble Kendall McIntosh because it's off target. But you can't make mistakes like that against a good team. You have to be more careful, certainly in the back.
Ball quickly the other direction and out for a T2 throw. Loria takes quickly to Williamson. Back to Loria, now to Barmby. Barmby has Williamson in space. He plays him. Williamson will settle back to Barmby. Loria, first touch lets him down a bit, able to shield Hernandez from the ball. Now Loria taken down about 35 yards from goal. Hernandez not happy with that call. And Holner will look like he was going to bring him back over for a conversation as Holner, the head referee's face.
And Loria's always trying to get on his left foot here, and Hernandez just pestering him, trying to make sure it's not easy for him. Commits the foul there, and this is a dangerous set-piece opportunity for T2.
When he plays, Barmby usually the man to strike these. Got a dangerous left foot, can hit a curler. And he will do so here towards the back post in the direction of Jadama. Not enough on it to get it to him. Mulligan settles back to Jadama out wide. Jadama defended by Silva, plays Mulligan. Mulligan down by the end line, defended by Barnathan. Back to Jadama. First time cross in, cleared away by Lewis. And out for a corner kick, the 5th of the evening for T2. Swope Park still without a corner kick here as we're nearly a half. A completely different Portland Timbers 2 side than we saw 6 days ago. And a deserved 1-0 lead through nearly a half hour. Barmby towards the back post. Header won by Jadama, not able to put it back towards net though. Lewis settles down near the corner flag. Lewis 1v1. Will play back out central for Zambrano. Zambrano will step strike. We know he likes to hit him from far away. Maybe that one a little too far. And well over the top of Adrian Zendejas' net.
Yeah, it's an ambitious one from Renzo Zambrano. He's feeling it a little bit. Hey, and that's okay, especially in a situation right here when you're having a lot of joy, you're getting opportunities. Why not take a shot and see what happens?
High press from T2 helps them win the ball back as Zambrano controls. Leaves for Jadama, who will play back to McIntosh. Well, Nat, before the match, you're interested to see how the midfield triangle, if you will, of Williamson, Lewis, and Zambrano would work together. What have you seen through nearly a half hour?
Yeah, it's worked very well so far, and I think it's done a good job because those three players are really good with the ball at their feet. They can get the ball, good first touch, get the ball in tight spaces, move it around, play 1-2 touch, and really overload those channels and those areas that Swope Park are occupying. And it's really difficult when you're defending and you have 1 or 2 extra guys to worry about, especially when you're a backline, trying to figure things out, especially to kind of roam freely in those areas. It just makes it very difficult for defenses to pick those guys up.
Blackwood couldn't control it because it went directly into the sun. As the ball, or the sun I should say, kind of at a weird angle now, as it's set to go down behind the dome on the other side of us.
Yeah, we're certainly having problems with it too up here, causing all kinds of glares for us, and I'm rethinking my beard here with this extra heat we've had in this weather, man. This is something else.
It has been warm, and it is certainly warm up here in the box. Part of the field now, as you can see, is shaded. That will only grow as the match goes along. A natural grass surface here at Merlot Field, one of the nicest you'll find in the country.
We saw him before the game, and that gives it that extra skip that you want to see and makes the ball fly a little bit easier. You don't have to put as much energy into your passing, and the ball kind of just glides around. And man, I am so jealous of these guys getting to play on a pitch like this.
T2 remain in possession. Poking and prodding around this Rangers defense. Miller tried to find Smith, cut out by Blackwood, and now Hernandez brings the other direction. His pass intercepted by Mulligan. Mulligan plays Langsdorff. Langsdorff alone up top, holds up and waits for reinforcements. He has Mulligan out wide. Langsdorff will take the shot, and high over Zendejas' net.
And if you're Foster Langsdorff,
have a go there. He seems to make all the right decisions when he gets the ball played into his feet. Does a good job turning there. Does a good job of farm. He does a good job of overlapping. Brings the player with him, and then, hey, the space opens up. Takes the shot. You heard the referee blow his whistle. With the temperature around 89 degrees right now, we are taking a hydration break here at the 30th minute. So both teams a chance to come over, chat with their coach, get a drink of water, maybe put a towel on their head, and get a little bit of a break here in the 30th minute. And I think you need one too, Fletch. I see you're sweating just as much as I am, and yeah, it's certainly hot out here. And we talked about the high pressure from Swope Park, and are they going to be able to sustain that? Obviously, it's been difficult.
Certainly, you can't high press an entire game 90 minutes when you have, you know, hot temperatures. You got to come down, get in your block, make sure that you're conserving your energy in order to have it on the offensive counterattack.
So in the midst of a hydration break, we will take a bit of a break ourselves, come back, and continue on with the action here from Merlot Field. T2 on top, thanks to a Foster Langsdorff goal, 1-0 here in the 32nd minute. And back at Merlot Field, hydration break in the books, and back to action as Robbie Holner blows our whistle. It was a Zendejas goal kick to get us underway once again. As long ball forward. Barry was making the run, not able to get on the end of it. Possession back to T2. It certainly has been warm, and with that being said, Nat, I mean, how does T2 manage this now? Because you've got a lead. They have been high pressing throughout the first half hour of this match. Now the goal, I would imagine, get to the break, either with this lead, maybe expand upon it a little bit, but certainly no mistakes in this final 12 minutes plus stoppage time of the first half.
Yeah, I think it's going to be important for T2, especially on the ball, making good decisions on the ball, because when you're playing in these high temperatures, you can't defend the whole 90 minutes like we talked about. It's going to be important for them to keep that ball. The heartbeat of the team is going to be in the midfield. Zambrano, Lewis, Loria, Barmby, get on the ball, make plays, keep the ball moving. Got to be smart with your decision making.
Hernandez chips central for Harris, cleared away by Smith.
You certainly don't want to start managing the game though in these early stages, you know, in the 34th minute of the game. You have to make sure that you continue to be aggressive, take your chances when they come, but you have to be smart.
Ball central, missed clearance by Roy Miller. And it ends up in the first corner kick of the evening for Swope Park.
Yeah, I've had a few of those in my career where I'm playing with my left foot and I just mishit it, goes out right there. Roy Miller playing with his right foot, not his favorite foot, and certainly now got to be smart with this set piece. Very important that everybody steps up and makes a play here.
Set pieces have been a bit of an issue for T2 throughout the course of the season. This ball will come in towards the penalty spot, cleared away. And shot taken on the volley is well wide of McIntosh's net. That was Colton Storm, who decided to strike it from about 40 yards out.
Yeah, and speaking of set pieces, Fletcher, you look at the World Cup and the number of goals that have been scored in the World Cup off of set pieces. I mean, England really made a run there because they could score off of set pieces. And you have to ask yourself, when it comes to defending those, are you going to put anybody on the post? Because it doesn't seem like many teams did that, and that's where a lot of those goals came from, that near post goal where you would expect to see a man. It seems like a lot of teams have changed their defensive marking scheme where they're not having anybody marking up that near post. And in this game, we haven't seen either team do it.
Ball settled by Barmby, finds Langsdorff making a run towards the corner of the box. He'll settle, defended by Lewis. Langsdorff taken down, dangerous shooting opportunity here for T2 right at the corner of the 18.
Yeah, Foster Langsdorff just making a nuisance of himself on this Swope Park back line, making sure he gets the ball, gets his body between the defender and the ball, and just does a good job of going down there. It's a clumsy challenge there from Lewis.
Eric Williamson will be the man to strike this. Barmby walking away from it. Chance for Williamson to curl this one in on Zendejas' net. He will strike it. He does curl it, gets it around the wall, but cleared away by Lewis. Now Williamson controls in front of Blackwood. Good work to keep possession by Eric Williamson. Williamson cleared out, trying to find Langsdorff forward. Silva was the man who cleared him out. And Robbie Holner blows his whistle. Another free kick opportunity, this time from about 35 yards away.
Williamson does so well here to get the ball, tries to play the through ball there, and just gets absolutely cleaned out on the challenge. Looks like a bit of frustration setting in from Swope Park.
This time it will be Barmby. Whistle blows. He'll again go towards Jadama, make that Smith, who was taken down. And now Swope Park brings the other direction. Eventually called back for a foul. Quick restart taken and played out for Minter. Minter has Blackwood central. Instead, we'll play Storm near side. Storm defended by Zambrano, gets around him. Now Smith trying to chase back to defend. Ball central by Blackwood. It's touched on, and McIntosh dives down to his left. It was outside the frame, but would have been a corner kick had McIntosh not grabbed it before it went out across his end line. Great distribution, finds Williamson. Great first touch with his right boot. Plays central for Barmby, but just a little too far out in front of him. And Swope Park will now bring the other direction.
How about that ball from Kendall McIntosh out of the back? So good, just a laser out there. Just finds Eric Williamson on the break.
Hernandez in for Barry. Been quiet so far this evening. And eventually Loria cuts it out. Lewis now out wide for Mulligan. Mulligan dribbling across the center line. Settles to Zambrano.
have to say, though, on that last counterattack opportunity from Swope Park, T2 did a great job of getting numbers back there. Zambrano getting back, Smith getting back, Miller getting back on defense. Very continue to take pride in that defensive organization, and especially with you know, only another 7-8 minutes left in this half.
They have been organized here in the first 45. Have T2. Looking to break a 4-match losing streak. Their longest since May and June of 2017. Have yet to put together a full 90 minutes, as Cameron Knowles has told us. But have put together thus far a solid 39 plus.
Yeah, I think I say it every match, Fletcher. These last 5 minutes of the half are some of the most important. You really have to stay switched on, especially when you're up a goal. You don't want to give away anything silly. When in doubt, you just clear it over to the other end of the field. Push your numbers up and make sure you're organized, nice and tidy. Don't give anything away before this halftime whistle.
Some good stuff from Roy Miller here, there in the last couple moments. Having to really work that Achilles. So important to trust it. And granted, before they even let Roy Miller out on the field, he's got to trust it. But it is different when you see game action, isn't it? And Roy Miller certainly appears to be, if not 100% close.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks fit. He's moving around really well. He's the biggest thing about the final, you know, few weeks of that injury, overcoming it is getting that spring, getting that strength. Last thing it comes back with an injury like that, and you can see he's got that spring. You know, he's got that explosiveness. He's able to push off nicely, and I think it's going to be only a matter of time before we see him in Portland Timbers action.
Into the final 5 minutes plus stoppage time here at the end of the first half.
That's a good tackle there from Jack Barmby.
Langsdorff can't control the pass forward, though. And now Lewis. Play to Parker Marr. Hernandez comes back for a quick touch. Now has it at his feet. Barmby happy to let him play 50 yards from goal. Tries the through ball for Harris, who is offside.
I like that back line work there. Just watching Mojadama there, marshal his back line, and he saw the run from Wilson Harris, and he sees he's about a yard offsides. He reads the pass, and he's just telling his back line, hold, and he gets it right that time. That's well done. Good leadership there from Mojadama.
This ball forward, not quite as impressive from Kendall McIntosh. Swope Park plays all the way back to Zendejas. Zendejas, an interesting story. Joined the team in 2016, went 8-0-0 in his first 8 starts. Had a .37 goals against average, a .87 save percentage, which were both tops in USL that year for players with 8 appearances or more. Signed a contract with Sporting Kansas City after that. Also played with the U20s of Liga MX side Club Tijuana.
We just saw another example of that T2 back line, making sure they were nice and tight, holding the line, forcing Swope Park into an offside position. I think Cameron Knowles is going to be very happy with his team's defensive performance going into halftime, as long as it continues to be 1-0.
As we wait for Kendall McIntosh to take this free kick, the USL welcomed its newest member on Wednesday with Hartford Athletic, the 6th club set to join the league for the 2019 season. For more information on the new club, visit hartfordathletic.com. Williamson heads down for Colton Storm, or rather Jack Barmby, defended by Colton Storm, who can't control it, and eventually goes out off of Storm for T2 throw. Quickly taken into Lewis. Lewis to Smith. He'll play back to Roy Miller. Over to Jadama. And Swope Park are chasing a bit. Out to Mulligan. Loria to Miller. Impressed with T2's ability to maintain possession, poke and prod around Swope Park, not give up possession. It's been something as well that they've struggled with during this current 4-match losing streak they're in the midst of.
And you have to think too, with Swope Park having a midweek game as well, you know, legs going to have to be a little bit tired, and as the game moves forward, the possession is going to be very important for T2. Continue to move those players around, make them run, make them work in this heat especially, and that's going to be a very important tool for them to use in the second half.
Silva's been quiet. We'll play it out to Storm, rather Blackwood. Blackwood leaves it, able to still get on the end of it. Now out to Felipe Hernandez. Hernandez defended by Williamson, dribbles central, takes a shot with his left foot, maybe looking for a deflection, but in the end rolls to Kendall McIntosh, who easily picks it up.
This shot doesn't trouble Kendall McIntosh too much, but Swope Park just getting some numbers forward there. Hernandez opts to go with the shot instead of playing the ball through. McIntosh sure and steady there in the save.
Ball rolls through for Barry. And now Jadama first to it. Mulligan pressured by Barry, plays back to Jadama. Jadama settles in his own penalty box. And eventually Zambrano clears out his man. And it'll be a free kick for Swope Park about 35-40 yards from goal. Watch highlights from every game of the 2018 season and stay up to date with news from across the USL at the league's official Facebook page, facebook.com/USL Soccer.
T2 inviting some pressure there with Jadama just not able to get that clearance right, and then the foul committed by Renzo Zambrano. These guys are gonna have to step up here to on this set piece to make sure they don't give one away.
It'll be Silva to strike, puts it on net. His teammates throw their arms up in the air, a little surprised with that effort from about 40 yards away, as McIntosh had no trouble picking that one up.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised by that as well. You get numbers forward, you certainly want to.
Langsdorff offside, as we are playing 4 minutes of stoppage time thanks to the hydration break here at the end of the first half.
Yeah, but you certainly, when you get numbers forward like that, Fletcher, you want to give your guys an opportunity to get on the end of something there, and Silva looked like he was just going for the ambitious shot. Probably the better option was to swing that ball in the box with some pace, let somebody try to get on the end of it.
Storm to Lewis, who will make the long switch over to Parker Marr. Rather, that's Chase Minter over there on the far side. Silva loses out to Williamson. Now Langsdorff by himself has 2 men. Here comes Andre Lewis on the late run. Lewis defended by Lewis. Corner of the box. Lewis settles, now plays central for Zambrano. Zambrano has Williamson out to the right. He'll use him corner of the box. Now to Loria. Loria takes the shot and finds the back of the net. A second for T2 in stoppage time has doubled their lead.
And I'm just talking, Fletcher, about how important it is on the defensive end to be solid if you're T2 in these final moments of the half. But then on the offensive end, what a way to go out in this half to get that second goal. So important here. And as you'll see here, it's nice circulation there from T2. They find the ball. Williamson finds it there and just slots Loria on his right foot. Not his favorite foot at all, but he's able to get the ball. He keeps it low, and he just buries it there. Right past Sendejas. 2-0, T2 going into halftime.
Yeah, I had to wait a moment because it looked like it went into the side netting. But Loria put it into the back of the net. His third goal of the season. And a goal in 2 consecutive matches now. An important one for T2 as they doubled their lead just before the half. And now Loria fouled in the center circle.
We highlighted Loria this last game against Fresno, and we talked about how dangerous he was attacking and getting in the midfield of other teams in front of that back four, and just that quickness and that first touch and how good he is with that left foot. And there, gets the ball on his right foot, makes the right move. And then Eric Williamson in an advanced position, Fletcher. I think it's been so important for this team in this half to get these opportunities.
Loria now coming into the day. 26 chances created in 14 appearances, led Portland. Marr wins the header. Zendejas off his line to pick it up right at the corner of his 18, and he'll quickly roll out for Lewis. Lewis further out wide to Colton Storm, who spent time in 2016 with the Timbers U23s. He dribbles across the center line, finds Blackwood, who continues the run for Storm. Nathan Smith sliding in, makes the challenge, and then Storm fouls Smith.
That was Barmby.
That was Barmby, you're correct.
Came in late there, but Jack Barmby, again, showing his defensive prowess there in the back line. He's been very, very good tonight, getting back, showing that he's got a commitment to defending. Might have had a little handball there the referee didn't catch, but continues to play, keeps his body in front of him, the ball, and wins a free kick. Very important play from Jack Barmby.
McIntosh sends the ball forward. We played the added 4 minutes at the discretion of Robbie Holner. Goal did come, so we had a bit of a stoppage for the goal, so wouldn't be surprised to see an extra 30-45 seconds here. Last chance forward for Swope Park, finds Blackwood in acres of space. Smith comes over to defend. Blackwood gets around him, plays now to Hernandez. Hernandez settles. T2 get numbers back. Storm, Hernandez. Blocked away by Barmby, and there's your first half whistle. And my goodness, what a difference 6 days make for T2, who take a 2-0 lead to the break here over Swope Park Rangers. Nat, your thoughts on the first 45?
Yeah, I think that Cam Knowles' tactical plan has been played out very well, very effectively by his players, moving Eric Williamson a bit higher, sacrificing a striker for a midfielder. Foster Langsdorff has been bright. The energy has been good from T2. It's been a deserved 2-0 result thus far in this game.
When leading at the half, Portland Timbers 2 4-2-0 this season. See if they can pick up a 5th win with the second 45 coming up about 15 minutes from now. We'll come back in a bit and get you first half highlights, first half stats, and more as Portland Timbers 2 on top 2-0 thanks to goals from Foster Langsdorff and Marvin Loria. Halftime in Soccer City, USA, as Portland Timbers 2 looking to break a 4-match losing streak, hold the lead 2-0 over visiting Swope Park Rangers. And with that, welcome into the broadcast booth once again. Nat Borchers and Fletcher Johnson here with you. And Nat, night and day from 6 days ago for T2. The way they played the first 45 minutes, some of the lineup changes, things really seem to work for Cameron Knowles and company.
Yeah, you said it, Fletcher, and certainly it was about the defensive mentality of the team first and foremost. That was very good for Cameron Knowles' side, but also that tweak, moving Eric Williamson into a higher position in the midfield, sacrificing a striker. Foster Langsdorff up there alone as a lone striker, but tons of options between Barmby, Loria, and Williamson feeding those final passes. T2 has done an excellent job of executing in that first half.
Certainly ran over Swope Park Rangers. I think it's safe to say in the first 45 minutes. We'll see what T2 can put together in the second 45 minutes. But before that, let's go ahead and take a look back at our first half highlights. And things started out early for T2. It was a chance for Foster Langsdorff in the 5th minute.
Yeah, this was just a sign of things to come for Foster Langsdorff. Just gets on the end of this. This is a half chance for him. Bothers Zendejas only a little bit, but as we saw, more confidence moving forward in the half.
4 minutes later, Langsdorff nearly found the back post.
Yeah, that's a great clearance off the line there from Swope Park, and just finding a good spot there on the back post, heading that ball to the far post. Great work there from Foster Langsdorff.
It was just 13 minutes later that Langsdorff would find the back of the net.
Yeah, and it's just a striker's goal there for Foster Langsdorff. Gets in that position off the shoulder of the center backs, and it's a great ball from Marvin Loria there just to get him into space. Good finish there.
Stay 1-0 for about 25 more minutes until Loria found the back of the net, his 3rd of the season.
And it was great circulation there from T2, just finding those passes, finding the open man, moving the ball side to side, and then finally that final pass from Williamson to Loria. Bam! He just hits that ball. Good finish there. Zendejas doesn't have a chance. 2-0.
We look at the first half stats in this one. And as you can see, some of the numbers in favor of T2, more the possession, more shots, but most importantly, more goals.
Yeah, certainly. And the final touch in this game has been very good for T2. And Foster Langsdorff, I've just been really impressed, Fletcher, with his movement off the ball. He finds himself in dangerous spots on the field, especially in the top of the box, in the penalty box itself. And his defensive work rate is also just so good. So he's been really fun to watch.
If you're Swope Park, you're hanging your hat on the fact that when conceding first in matches, they 3-1. So they have found ways to come back and not only draw, but win matches in which they have not played well to start. And Swope Park will try and take advantage of that here as we're just about set for the second half of action. As we'll take a look, see if we have any substitutions at the break. Doesn't look to be so currently. As T2 will now move left to right, Swope Park right to left. As the sun nearly completely down, basically off the entirety of the field with a little portion of the southern side still in sun and a sliver of the northern side. One of the unique aspects of Merlot Field here. Field runs north to south. There's a big dome where the basketball team plays at the University of Portland that sits just to the west of the field that creates this dome-like shadow when the sun gets low in the sky. So we still ourselves looking into the sun, but most of the players will not have to deal with any sunspots on the field in the second half.
We're just counting down the minutes until that happens, aren't we, Fletcher? we're just getting beat up here in this press box.
I'm getting my tan today, that's for sure.
I'm getting sunburned.
There's Robbie Holder's whistle underway in the second half. Fletcher Johnson and Nat Borchers here with you. T2 a 2-0 lead thanks to goals from Foster Langsdorff and Marvin Loria in the first half. Swope Park Rangers will maintain possession here to start the half.
We see Roy Miller gets to continue his minutes here in this game. We've seen him go 45. I think in the last game against Fresno, we saw him go 60. And I'm wondering in this game if he's going to actually get to go the distance and really help out this back line in the long haul.
Ball pops up over Jadama's head, but it was Harris who was offside. Mentioned earlier, when Swope Park concede first, they're pretty good. 3-3-1 on the season. So this team never out of it, although a 2-goal hole will certainly be a stiff challenge, especially if T2 play the way they did throughout the first 45 minutes.
Yeah, they need to keep their that defensive mentality, though, going in this second half, Fletcher. They can't give anything up silly. They got to make sure they keep that spine. Zambrano and Lewis can't lose their cool, have to stay disciplined in that midfield and just sit on top of that back four, especially on those counterattacking opportunities, just to make sure that there's a lot of balance there for T2.
Long ball forward for Harris. Knew he was offside, just let it run through. Miller under pressure from Haji Berry. Dribbles away. Langsdorff tried to dummy it onto himself. Good work there, though, by Lewis to make sure that Langsdorff didn't get in on goal. Langsdorff continuing to work hard. A little easier to do so in the shade. As a temperature about 87 degrees here at the beginning of the second half, so a couple degrees cooler than when we kicked off, but not much. Long ball down that far sideline. Picked up by Smith. Stays in play. Blackwood now in for Harris. McIntosh, as we've come to learn, quickly off his line. Great at reading the ball and picks that one up.
Yeah, McIntosh has cat-like reflexes. He's going to be gobbling things like that up all day long. And I'm thinking, Fletcher, about what's been said at halftime for both coaches. And I know from Cam Knowles, it's probably you guys just have to continue and go out and do some of the same. But for Paulo Nagamura's team, they have to have more. They got to have more energy. They have to be a little bit brighter, especially when it comes to getting that ball forward. They didn't get enough numbers forward for me, and then their wing play wasn't dynamic enough. You didn't see Haji Berry, you didn't see Tyler Blackwood on the ball enough. I want to see more of them on the ball. I want to see more opportunities come from those wing positions.
Certainly good to see T2 put in a couple goals in the first half. We mentioned the struggle to score goals in this four-match losing streak. Zambrano now brings it forward. He's got space in front of him, plays to Williamson, who plays on to Barmby. Barmby cross in, and Zendeja's off his line. It was Langsdorff making the run at the back post. Barmby need to put a little bit more on it to get it to him.
Certainly. But great play there from T2. Good job moving the ball. It's just simple passing from these guys right now. They're just creating good opportunities on the attacking end.
Jadama will outrace Berry to this one. He will shield. Berry able to get a touch to it. Cannot get back around Jadama, though, who now clears to midfield. Silva, calm in possession. Keeps it in front of Loria. Berry back to Silva. Long switch. Headed back by Smith in the direction of McIntosh, but can't get it to McIntosh, and it'll end up in the second corner kick of the evening for Swope Park.
And this last chance here from T2, it's a good run there from Zambrano. Finds Eric Williamson, a one-time pass there from Barmby. Barmby needs to fizz that ball right across the front of the goal if he wants to play that ball to Langsdorff, but good stuff from T2.
It's hit towards the penalty spot, headed away by Jadama, and a foul called as Jadama was taken down by Berry. So it'll be a restart for T2. Strong first half from the home side as they look to break this four-match skid. Voting is now open for the 2018 Fans' Choice Mid-Season Awards as you get to decide which player has stood out from the pack so far this season. Cast your votes in the 5 award categories at uslsoccer.com. Cameron Knowles up for the Mid-Season Manager of the Year. Augustine Williams, meanwhile, up for the Young Player of the Year with his start to the season. 4 goals and a pair of assists for the San Diego, California native, who is on the bench tonight for Cameron Knowles.
And I think there's a strong argument there for Cam Knowles in getting that award with the turnaround he's had with this team and how well he's done with really the mentality and the group just being stronger defensively and scoring more goals and certainly getting better results this year. And I think he's done a wonderful job with this group thus far.
Paulo Nagamura making no time, or taking no time, making his first substitution. It'll be Chase Minter off for 17-year-old Sebastian Cruz, Fresno, California native. In his first season with Swope Park, made his pro debut March 24th against Sounders 2. making his third appearance in the last 5 matches, as T2 and Swope Park Rangers not strangers to using and utilizing a lot of different players. Both teams have used 33 players this year throughout the course of the season, so getting players minutes, opportunities for different guys in different positions to make an influence on the coaching staff.
Yeah, that's a great point, Fletcher. I think certainly when you look at being able to put out a consistent lineup game in, game out, it's difficult when you're getting, 5, 6 different guys from, the Portland Timbers or Sporting Kansas City. You get academy kids coming up. Very, very difficult to put a team together, get them all on the same page, get them all working together to fight for a result together. And you have to think that that's where you earn your stripes at this level, certainly, is getting those guys to gel and making them all work together.
How important are these matches? I mean, especially for teams that are affiliates with MLS clubs. Not only are you competing to try and win a USL Cup, but you're getting the opportunity to develop players and get opportunities that, 10, 15 years ago, maybe you didn't have those type of opportunities.
Yeah, and I think certainly that's where it's very difficult. That's where the rubber meets the road for a lot of these clubs, is really being able to find that happy medium between getting results and also developing players, because it's so difficult to do both things. As we saw T2 last year, it was very difficult for them to get that right, and certainly it wasn't all about the results, but they were disappointed they didn't get the results. And then this year you see there's just been a shift. There's been some differences, some new players coming in, and it's changed the way they've played and to change their results. But certainly it's very difficult for teams to get that right, but I think it's fun for players. Younger players now getting an opportunity to play at this level. I know when I was a younger player, if I hadn't have made an MLS, this would have been a great opportunity for me. And I think a lot of players would have felt the same way in my generation.
Matias Silva was the man who took the shot there a minute or 2 ago. Well wide of Kendall McIntosh's net. Handball on Andre Lewis in the center circle. And Cruz able to settle 40 yards from goal. Central for Barry, back to Cruz. Cruz, a bit of a jitterbug. 23 appearances this season for the U19s in the academy setup. 8 goals and an assist to show for it. This ball central from Harris, cleared away by T2.
Yeah, T2 absorbing a bit of pressure here in these early going moments of the match, of the second half. It's going to be important for them not to break. You don't want to give up an early goal here for this Swope Park team. Don't want to give them any life. Make sure you're really organized and really expect a lot of talk from those veterans on the back line. Mulligan, Roy Miller, Mojadama. Very important those guys keep their mouths open and organize what's in front of them.
Swope Park had about 43% of the possession in the first half, and really 0 possession in the first 10 to 15 minutes. Had more of the ball here to start the second half as that one rolls out to touch.
They've been a little bit off, as we've seen. The passing hasn't been quite right. They look a little bit lethargic at times, and I wonder if it's that midweek game at home to Sacramento Republic, which is really causing them some issues, causing them to have some heavy legs.
We mentioned the fact that this is the third match of 5 in an 18-day span for Swope Park. Really, this is a team that needs to get past an August 11th, or excuse me, an August 4th match at Orange County, and then they play about 6 or 7 matches in a row at home. Mid-July, but get through the beginning of August, and an opportunity for this club to build some points, build some results playing in Kansas City, where late summer in Kansas City is not pleasant for teams to have to come play.
No, it is not pleasant at all. I played a few
this through ball
there.
Over the top, into the box, finds Blackwood, and important clearance from Smith. That actually will be kept in play by Barmby. First real scary moment for T2 here at the start of the second half.
Yeah, it's good movement there from Swope Park to find that seam in the T2 back line. Got to be very careful in that back line right now in these early stages.
Roy Miller holds Barry on side, but the pass goes begging across the near touchline. Mulligan will throw it in. Knocked out of play by Barnathan. Dakota Barnathan, the Massapequa, New York native. Played every minute in the USL Cup playoffs last year. Split time between center back and defensive midfielder as well. So a versatile player who finds Felipe Hernandez in space. Now Silva. Silva long ball forward for Barry. Heads up in the air. He'll race with Mulligan to try and get there. Mulligan heads on. Clears away only as far as Cruz. Loria back to defend Cruz. Now back to Barry. Barry central for Silva. Silva steps on it. Now sends a cross over to Blackwood, who heads on central. Roy Miller heads on as well. Cruz takes the shot high over Kendall McIntosh's net in the 57th minute. So Swope Park looking better here to start the second half.
Yeah, just a misclearance there from Roy Miller, and it falls to the feet of Cruz, the new player. Doesn't get that shot on target, but there's some warning signs here in this second half for T2 backline. They got to be careful here, not give up any chances like that to Swope Park. They're going to get some opportunities for sure.
Williamson rises high to win the header, and then it's Marr who knocks it out to touch.
I was thinking also what Paulo Nagamura might be telling his squad at halftime. I think in the midfield, Silva got a little bit overrun by the numbers of T2, and I think that it's important defensively that he brings down Hernandez next to him and brings down Cruz to make sure that they don't give up too much of that central location in the field, and then they're able to counterattack and find opportunities once T2 commits numbers forward. And we're already seeing that, I think, a little bit in the second half, and Silva even looks a little bit more relaxed in the ball. He's really spraying balls out wide and creating things for Swope Park.
Great touch by Cruz to get it back to Barry as he was tripping and falling. Now Hernandez gets around Barmby. Has the run of Storm out wide. He'll use him. Storm defended by Smith. Play back to Lewis. Back to Storm far side. Smith there to meet him. Cross comes in towards the back post and headed into the back of the net. Swope Park has pulled one back in the 59th minute. And it's Wilson Harris who finds the back of the net for the second time this season.
Yep, and just how T2 has earned those goals in the first half, Swope Park has earned this goal in the second half. And it really comes off some nice play there from Swope Park. Get the ball wide, good cross in, not great defending. As you can see there, the ball just touches off of, I believe it's a header from Harris, and it just touches off the foot here of Mojadama and nestles into that far post. Nothing Kendall McIntosh can do there. Very unfortunate, but at the same time, not great marking there from T2.
Here come Swope Park again. Eric Williamson fouls Felipe Hernandez, and we'll see the first caution of the match. So Eric Williamson in the book in the 60th minute, and an hour in, T2, who are in control of this match at halftime, have found Swope Park a little bit more difficult to deal with here in the second half.
Yeah, I think you touched on it, and you made a great point here. As you can see, the foul there from Williamson just comes in from behind there, comes in late on Hernandez. A good call there from the referee.
Silva restarts quickly over to Blackwood. Storm making the run. Blackwood manages to keep possession in front of Smith. Now Barmby over to defend. Barmby blocks the first cross from Blackwood. Quickly throw it in. Renzo Zambrano beats out Barry to the ball. And Smith actually clears off of Barmby out to touch. So in some senses, some bad luck here for T2. Still maintaining that 1-goal lead, but a lot of work to do. Zambrano defended by 2 men. Back to Smith, who clears it to midfield, and Langsdorff. Flag was up for offside on Langsdorff, who won the header.
And I think we touched on it in the first half about how good T2 has been in the first halves and how second halves they seem to run out of ideas. They seem to really run out of energy, and we're seeing it here. Really important that they get back on the front foot in this game.
Blackwood cross in with his left boot, headed on across Kendall McIntosh's frame. He was worried about it, was Kendall McIntosh, but in the end, no damage done.
Yeah, as we can see here, Swope Park just getting numbers forward in the box, and it's a good early ball there from the outside. Blackwood gets a good flick on there. He's just looking for the far post there. Doesn't find his man. But very important now, T2 lock things down in the back. They got to get control of this game.
Barry checks his run well. Kendall McIntosh out, makes the pickup near the corner of his 18 under pressure from Barry. But Swope Park have figured some things out after halftime. Long balls forward, diagonal runs as Langsdorff tries to control down, nearly does so. And now a foul called on Langsdorff. Barnathan not happy with Langsdorff. Silva having a talk with the head referee as well.
Yeah, as we can see here, that through ball from Silva. Silva providing some great service there. Kendall McIntosh making this look so easy. That's a very difficult save to make here. Very athletic for him to get outside of his box there, get the ball, corral it, and make sure he doesn't give up a corner kick needlessly.
Now, head referee tonight, Robbie Holner, having a discussion with Foster Langsdorff. Holner assisted by Chad Stewart, our near side official, Isaiah Vlad on the far side, and our fourth official tonight, Miles Crumley. Zendejas will get us back to action.
And it's these moments, Fletch, when I ask myself, where is my midfield? Where's my heartbeat? Where's Zambrano at? Where's Loria? Where's Lewis? Where's Barmby? They got to get the ball on the ball. They got to get that possession back. Start getting the ball moving around and not give up so much pressure here.
T2 certainly in a lot of numbers bunkered in as Loria will dribble this one forward. Loria, and eventually the ball pulled back for a foul just outside the center circle in T2's defensive half.
As you can see there, Andre Lewis just saying, get the ball and give it, get the ball and give it. Just move that ball with a little bit of urgency. 1-2 touches in the midfield, find the open man. That was what they did early in this second half to find that chance early on. And now that's what they have to do now. Just find the open pass, find Eric Williamson. He's the one who's been playing those final passes and just get the ball calmed down. Get things calmed down so that they can get some simple possession back.
Williamson had a chance to play Langsdorff central, instead played it out for Mulligan. Not enough on it, cleared out to touch. Mulligan looking over his options, plays to Langsdorff. Langsdorff defended by two. Nice chip over the top to find Mulligan. Loria trying to get on the end of it. He's not going to win that battle with the 6'2", 200-pound Silva, though T2 are able to get back onto it. Williamson has it corner of the box. Defended by Marr. Play backwards, now Barry comes over and knocks it out off of Williamson for a Swope Park throw. Here comes Swope Park, 3v3 if they hurry. Blackwood back to Colton Storm. Storm with 2 assists so far this year. Now back to Blackwood, who's onside. Blackwood cuts it back once. Now we'll chip it over the top. McIntosh, easy stuff for him coming off his line. Quickly rolls it out to Barmby. Barmby's been quiet in the second half. Plays Lewis. Back to Zambrano. Over to the far side for Loria, but cut out by Marr. Zambrano slide tackles it off Marr, but it goes directly to Cruz, now to Barry. Felipe Hernandez takes the shot, deflected. Kendall McIntosh diving to his right. Don't know if he got a touch to it. It took a deflection before that and went wide of the net, but it ends up in a corner kick.
And this whole thing comes off a missed pass there from Zambrano, and then they just give up a shot on the top of the box to Hernandez. Takes a deflection there. Kendall McIntosh has it covered, but now they give up a corner kick.
Hernandez to strike. He'll send it in towards the penalty spot. Header won by Foster Langsdorff. Lewis picks up top of his box.
Yeah, and that last possession for T2, it's so important to connect passes, to link up passes, and unfortunately T2 just doesn't seem to have it right now. Got to get that composure back, and I think that Cam Knowles is about to make some changes here to mix things up in the lineup.
It's like Loria went down, was fouled by Silva. I believe we'll see the second caution of the night.
Ooh, and as you see there, Silva really swings in there, takes a bite out of Loria, who's actually coming in pretty hard himself. It looks like Loria's down and the worst for wear on that challenge. We talked about it earlier. Swope Park playing against S2, and Silva gets sent off with a red card. Very tough challenge against an S2 player. Definitely questionable timing for the referee in terms of giving out the red card. But we know Silva is that type of player who's going to get stuck in. He's really setting the tone there for this Swope Park team, and those are the types of challenges that he gets stuck into. Those big challenges in the middle of the pitch, getting after players and really being physical.
As you look at Cameron Knowles, 8-2 in his first season as head coach. Was named the head coach back on January 8th of this year. He's originally drafted into MLS by Real Salt Lake as a player in the 2005 supplemental draft.
We get another look here at this player. Loria just pops the ball up in the air, and both players really going for it. Loria studs up there. Silva trying to smash it. I think it's tough to give a yellow card there to Silva. I think both players really going for that ball. Nobody really doing anything maliciously.
So T2 will make their first substitution of the evening. Eric Williamson will come off after 68 minutes. And the 19-year-old Ontario, California native Harold Hansen will make his 8th appearance of 2018 and get a run out of about 23 minutes here. So Eric Williamson playing in that advanced role, has only done it a handful of times. Nat, your thoughts on his performance this evening?
Yeah, I thought he was very good tonight, Fletcher. I thought that he did a good job really just finding space in and behind that Silva, around Silva, and creating some real problems with overloads in the wings. He was all over the place, and he did a really good job playing those slip passes, those final balls into Foster Langsdorff, and did a nice job tonight, I think, with the ball. And now I think we're going to see Loria going in the middle, Barmby switching sides, and then we see Hansen on the right-hand side. And we were talking before the game, Fletcher, about how we wanted to see that speed from Hansen and that youth. He's only, what, 17, 18 years old. He can fly. He's got wheels, and I think, especially as this game moves forward, if T2 can keep this game at one goal up, they're going to have opportunities to counter, and that's where Hansen's going to come in big time.
T2 on the ball now at the feet of Andre Lewis. Here comes Mulligan making the long run forward, but it's a little too far out in front of him. Tries to control with that right boot at full speed, cannot do so. Would have been a big moment as T2 had a lot of numbers forward. Swope Park was hustling to get back. First half dominated by T2. Foster Langsdorff, Marvin Loria with the goals. And in the second half, Swope Park pulled one back thanks to Wilson Harris off a deflection. His header went off Modu Jadama's foot and past Kendall McIntosh as this ball comes in the direction of Harris, who can't control it, had Miller on his back. Now Hansen plays it too far in front of Zimbrano. T2 have been trapped in their defensive half for the majority of this second frame.
And what this possession allows Swope Park to do is get numbers forward. They get their outside backs involved. It really allows their wingers to get forward in situations like this, 1v1 situations. Mulligan has done a great job against Barry tonight. Haven't really called Barry's name too often, and I think that's been a credit to Mulligan.
Zambrano fouled by Sebastian Cruz. T2 once again take their time getting this one restarted. It's been interesting to watch this Portland Timbers 2 side this year. In a sense, they've played better, you could say, when they're down or tied. They've struggled to maintain leads. A lot of different reasons why that might be, Nat, and your experience as a player, also just watching this team this year, what do you attribute some of those challenges to?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of experience. It's a combination of decision making, certainly, and definitely fitness, and those three things play factors, you know, in games as games move forward into make or break moments. And these are teaching moments, I think, for Cam Knowles. When you have situations where you give up leads, when you have situations where you don't close games out, you have to figure out how to manage games at this level. It's all about finding ways to win and teaching ways to win. And we talked about that early on this season, about how Cameron Knowles, that's one of his fundamental points, his points of emphasis this year is teaching how to win, how to go about winning.
Development through success was the first thing he said to us. As cross comes in from the far stick, Langsdorf wins the header, but can't put it on frame.
Yeah, that's better there from T2.
Barmby was the man that sent the cross in. Found the head of Langsdorf, who's been busy tonight.
And we'll see, we got some width there from Barmby. Gets a nice cross in. It's floated there to the back post, and Langsdorf just challenging there with the defender. Does a good job of getting up, but I have to say, very good defending there in the back from Marr.
Loria, nice dummy onto himself, picks it up corner of the box, dribbling at the defense, plays central, out for a corner kick, the 6th of the night for T2, who have shown a bit more life here in the last couple minutes.
We're seeing a bit of a momentum shift here from T2, getting some more numbers forward, really capitalizing here on transition moments, and that's how you do it, especially with Loria there. Some nice work from Loria there on the wing play.
It's been an entertaining 73 minutes from this side. Meaning from up here in the broadcast booth, both T2 and Swope Park having their moments, exchanging momentum. Barmby sends it in towards the penalty spot. Jadama rises, does not win the header. It's won by Cruz. Now Loria to Lewis, out wide to Barmby. Barmby's got space in front of him. Blackwood tries to block it, sent in. Hansen wins the header, can't turn it on frame. It was there for Hansen. A golden opportunity miss for T2 in the 73rd minute.
Wow, what an excellent opportunity there for T2 to get that elusive third goal here in this game. Great stuff from T2, moving that ball around, and I think Lewis and Loria had some good touches.
We talk about how entertaining this one is as Harris brings it down in front of Roy Miller. Here comes Blackwood dribbling central. Lays it off for Harris, takes a shot, blocked, and eventually cleared by Renzo Zambrano. Mentioning we're talking about how exciting this one is as Hansen brings it across field. He'll play into Loria, who's onside. Loria gets by Barnathan, will take the shot, tries to curl it towards the back post, parried away by Zendejas, picked up corner of the box by Jack Barmby. Barmby in front of Colton Storm, figuring out what he wants to do, sends a cross in, headed away, top of the box. Falls to Loria, plays to Lewis. Lewis over to Mulligan. Chance to cross, sends it in first time. Finds the head of Langsdorf, puts it on frame. It's blocked by Zendejas and out for a corner kick.
And this is some exciting stuff here from T2 as we see the last chance from a few moments before for Harold Hansen. He gets on the end of this cross. It's a wide open net. If he can just angle that ball on goal, doesn't get all of it here. And we see a great run here from Loria. Cuts the ball back on his left foot and tries for that far post. The keeper Zendejas does a great job to parry that to the far post. And again, Mulligan with another impressive opportunity there. And Langsdorf just trying to get that to the nestle into the far post, but a good job by Zendejas to keep the game at 2-1.
Substitution made by Swope Park Rangers. Brian Rebellion comes in place of Wilson Harris. Technically a midfielder for a forward, so we'll have to see how the formation looks for Swope Park. Nearly headed into the back of the net by T2. Langsdorf was there again. It was Jadama who won the header, tried to put it on frame, could not do so. And T2 have had a handful of opportunities in the last 5 minutes to double their lead.
Well, T2 asking all the questions right now, Fletcher, and it's a great ball in. Oh, Jadama just looking for that back post. Foster Langsdorf's right there. It's a cross, it's a shot. I don't know what it is, but definitely a great opportunity on goal. Zendejas doesn't know where it is and unfortunately doesn't get done.
So Jeremy Abobasi will come on, but we are taking a hydration break here in the 75th minute. Half hour into the second half. So Jeremy Abobasi will come on in place of Foster Langsdorf, whose night is done. Langsdorf now 7 goals for Langsdorf in his first season with T2. And Nat, he is a pest for center backs and defenders out there.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Foster Langsdorf. He's the type of guy I wouldn't want to play against if I was out there playing as a center back, because he's just constantly moving. He does a great job of working the space and then finding those dangerous spots to poach and find goals. And I think he did a fantastic job tonight for T2, and credit to him to get on the scoreboard and be dangerous for T2.
Let's go ahead and take a look back at how we got here in this hydration break. Started off with Foster Langsdorf finding the back of the net in the 22nd minute.
Yeah, as I just said, just being able to find those soft spots in transition. Loria with a great final ball here to find Foster Langsdorf. And then Loria finding that goal there, just goes to the right of Zendejas, buries the ball in that far corner and does a great job.
And then how Swope Park pulled it back. Harris off the foot of Jadama and into the back of the net.
Yeah, and it's a great cross there. Swope Park does a good job of getting numbers forward and definitely very fruitful to get the goal there, and it's 2-1.
Back to live action now after the hydration break is complete, so you'll have to imagine we'll play at the very least 2 to 3 minutes of stoppage time after the 90 minutes are complete. Cruz, long ball forward and flag up for offside on Rebellion.
I'll tell you what, these final 13, 14 minutes of this match is going to be fun, Fletcher, because I'm watching Swope Park and they're not giving up. They're continuing to make runs on that back line. I'm seeing the wingers coming in, making these runs. Definitely just very, very dangerous stuff from them, and certainly they're not going to give up on this. I think the way that you're going to have to beat this team is get that third goal. That's going to be very important for T2.
Jeremy Abobasi into the match, chest down for his first touch. Mulligan, Zambrano. We talk about the excitement in this one. We can only hope that tomorrow's World Cup final between France and Croatia is as exciting in Moscow. An 8 o'clock kickoff tomorrow morning here West Coast time. Who do you like?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm really rooting for the underdog here, and that's Croatia.
This one picks up Loria, who goes over the top of Harold Hansen on the near side of the box. Now Mulligan sends it in once again. Abobasi was there, cleared away though by Swope Park. Silva gets it to Hernandez.
You have to think how special it is for a country of what, only a few million people to get to a World Cup final, and the quality that they have, and they showed against England, and certainly just the resolve they've had to get to penalty kicks, to play in extra time, and to really, put that nation on their shoulders and get to this point in time. But I think France has more quality, certainly, and I expect them to win the game.
Header won by Barry, up in the air, picked up corner of the box by Cruz, plays back to Marr, back to Cruz, as Marr on the overlapping run won't use him, plays central for Barry instead, who dummies on to Hernandez. Hernandez will take the shot well wide of net, though. They said it took a deflection, I believe, off of Loria or Zambrano, and out for the 4th corner kick of the night for Swope Park.
And Swope Park aren't going down without a fight. We're certainly going to see some fireworks here in these last 10 minutes, and see Hernandez there from the top of the box taking a shot, and these set piece opportunities here. T2's got to lock this down.
Cross will come in. Finds Marr top of the box. He'll take the shot, takes a deflection off of Roy Miller and goes wide of Kendall McIntosh's net. He was chasing it down, thought it might sneak into that top right corner, but it does just go wide. This time towards the near stick, and a foul called, it looks like. Swope Park players are incensed at referee Rob Holner.
And I think everybody's wishing that we had video review for this one. Certainly we do in the press box, and we'll get a closer look at it here as the ball comes in from the cross. Takes a little header. Looks like it hits off the arm of Manoj Jadama, who actually expects a call to be made, I think. But fortunately for T2, they dodge a bullet there, because certainly that could have been a penalty called for the referee.
Maybe a little bit of a if you will, as Cruz is onside, chasing this one down corner of the box. Mulligan comes back to defend. Cruz inside the box, goes far side for Blackwood. Blackwood settles, takes the shot over McIntosh's net. Back to your point, though, on the World Cup, Nat. Head says France, heart says Croatia.
Yes.
I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, certainly. And as we see this this chance here from Swope Park, Blackwood does a great job of getting that ball down and just smashing it. Needs to be on target, but Swope Park really showing a lot here. And it's been a tale of two halves, as we talked about, I think, so frequently this year, Fletcher. And you know, T2 really having the run of play and having the energy in the first half. In the second half, it's been all Swope Park.
Silva rises to win the header. Chested down by Smith. Can't pick out Barmby. T2 had about a 7-minute stretch there where they had an opportunity a couple times to add a third, could not do so. Now Storm. Central. Important touch there by Mulligan to get it past Barry. Quickly in for Marr. As we mentioned, Swope Park 3-3-1 when trailing at halftime. They're halfway back to earning a result on the road. Put her down to their final 7.5 minutes plus stoppage time.
Well, speaking of the World Cup final, Fletcher, you were mentioning you had an exciting place to watch the match tomorrow with your family.
Yeah, we're going to the Toffee Club, an English bar in the Hawthorne district here in Portland. Should be a good time. Closing down the street and putting it up on a giant projector screen for all folks to watch, as Hansen thought the throw-in was T2's, but Chad Stewart says it's the Rangers' throw.
And how much fun would have been to be able to watch that game if it was an England final in an English bar. That would have been great.
Insanity is the word I would probably use to describe it. Blackwood dribbles central, takes the shot. McIntosh, easy save down to himself.
You have to think here with all these numbers Swope Park are throwing here as we look at that last chance for Blackwood, that there should be an opportunity on the counterattack. And Abobasi here, he's got to do that job of holding that ball up and making sure that he gets those numbers forward, bring those numbers forward. It's going to be very hard to continue to defend against all this pressure from Swope Park.
Swope Park have been much cleaner in possession in the second half. Cross comes in, headed away by Jadama. Now Barmby back to Jadama. Can't imagine that's what he wanted to do. And then a handball called on Jadama from a very dangerous shooting position, about 23 yards away from goal.
Yeah, we think we've seen this position in recent weeks, and this is one of those set piece situations that it's close, it's far enough away. I think you can get the ball up and over the wall and into that far corner, and it's going to be very important for Kendall McIntosh to get his wall right, make sure he protects that side of the wall. The wall's got to jump for him as well, but he's got to make sure that he's got the other side covered so that he can get over and make a save if he needs to.
Felipe Hernandez and Matias Silva are the men who stand over it. If Hernandez strikes, it'll be a right foot. Silva, it'll be a left foot. 4 men in the wall for T2. Swope Park with a couple additions as well. Hernandez will be the man to strike. Can't put it on frame.
And much to the relief of T2 fans in this stadium, Hernandez not able to get that ball up and over the wall as we see it here from this angle. It just doesn't dip in time. McIntosh has it covered all the way. Now we see a sub.
A rarity as Jimmy Mulligan subbed off. In the 86th minute, Lamar Batista will come on, which will create a switch. Nathan Smith will come over from his left back position to play right back. Lamar Batista, the natural left footer, will play that left back position.
Looks like Silva's down here in the middle of the pitch. holding the back of his leg.
No, 18 and back to the end line.
So while Swope Park's trainer Jacob Brownback comes out, we'll tell you, if you want to get the key talking points from across the USL every week, you need to tune in to the Hat Trick with Kelsey Steele on Monday evenings at the USL's Instagram account to stay in the know on what's what around the league. Swope Park was officially announced as USL's 30th franchise on October 22nd of 2015. Club that, as we mentioned, has thrived on youth player development. We've seen it across all ranks, from Sporting Kansas City and MLS, Swope Park Rangers, down to Sporting Kansas City Academy clubs. Swope Park have made the USL Cup final in their first 2 seasons of existence. As Camilo Benitez will make his 7th appearance of the year, he comes on in place of Colton Storm. So that, the 3rd and final player substitution for Swope Park. Camilo Benitez on, Colton Storm off. Likely looking at a 3 in the back situation for Swope Park as they try and find an equalizer.
We haven't seen a whole lot of Lamar Batista in these recent weeks, but he had a bright start to the season. It really transformed himself from playing as a center back to playing as an outside left back. He did a great job with his athleticism, made some good decisions moving forward, good 1v1 defender, and definitely a good opportunity for him to get back in the lineup and show his stuff.
T2 happy to concede possession to Swope Park in their own half. Zambrano controls down, now to Lewis, but too far out in front of him, and T2 concede possession. That takes a deflection off the back of Cruz and cleared out near midfield.
Yeah, and these moments, these final moments of the game, if I'm Cameron Knowles, I'm just watching my players and saying, okay, who's going to step up here? Who's going to really show some gamesmanship, show some pride, milk the clock, make good decisions on the ball, make some big plays defensively.
Run coming from Sebastian Cruz, played out to touch by Nathan Smith. Cruz throws in for Blackwood. Blackwood central for Marr. He has Cruz, won't use him, concerned that Cruz was offside. Now Nathan Smith able to cut out the pass, plays central for Lewis. Break could be on here for T2 if they want. Barmby takes his time, now will send the long cross in the direction of Harold Hansen, chested down by Martins and Dejas.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Barmby just put his foot on the ball there and just keep possession. Doesn't need to look for the long ball there. Now Swope Park's back in the ball. Again, they've been very dangerous this second half.
These are the types of moments when you're in the midst of a 4-match losing streak that it becomes so difficult. Abobasi controls nicely with his left boot. Has Harold Hansen running to his right, Marvin Loria running to his left. Jeremy Abobasi happy to remain in possession. And we'll play back to Andre Lewis.
I'll take that from Abobasi there. If he's not going to get a shot off, a clear shot on target, he's not going to find that final pass, and keep possession. Just keep the ball circulating, keep Swope Park away from it.
Final 30 seconds plus stoppage time. T2 clinging to a 2-1 lead. Initial indication, it sounds like from downstairs, is that we'll play 5 minutes of stoppage time here once the 90 are complete. Final 15 seconds.
That's going to be an eternity for T2, certainly looking for that win here. 4 games on a losing streak. You want to get that monkey off your back. These guys need to show their fighting spirit these final 5 minutes.
Loria, great defensive work to come back and pick it up, and we are into the 5 minutes of stoppage time. Barnathan clears, chested down by Smith. Smith, Abobasi, Barnathan will let it roll all the way to Zendejas. Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit www.selectsportamerica.com. Receive free shipping on orders over $50. Harold Hansen a chance to run onto this one. He is not going to be able to get to it in front of Zendejas, who controls with his feet. Nearly a minute through the added 5 at the discretion of referee Robbie Holner. Been a couple minutes since Swope Park did anything significant with possession. Marr central for Silva. Silva defended by Zambrano. Breaks through a line with his pass to Hernandez. Hernandez takes the shot. McIntosh makes the save easy enough and covers up as Marr came to double check.
And Silva's just been so good this half, Fletcher. He's really finding those balls, those cutting balls in front of the defense of T2. Really been accurate with his long balls. Been a presence in the midfield.
Loria dribbling forward corner of the box in front of Silva. Now will make an attempt to go towards goal and earn T2 a corner kick, their 8th of the night. And this will take us into the 93rd minute.
Yeah, and this is big time there from Loria, just getting the ball on the front foot here, driving at the defenders from Swope Park and creating a corner kick opportunity. Now we got to see what T2 does here with the ball. Personally, I would just pass the ball to whoever's closest and try to hold the ball for another couple minutes.
Worth noting as well, Roy Miller will go the full 90 minutes for the first time in nearly 9 months tonight. It's the corner kick taken short to Hansen, who's able to keep it in play and then fouls a Swope Park player down near the end line. Halfway through the added 5 minutes. Swope Park bring it forward quickly. Over the head of Cruz, finds Hernandez. Hernandez has it in front of Hansen. Will dribble at Hansen. Now Nathan Smith comes up to challenge and knocks it out to touch.
Good step there from Nathan Smith.
Quickly central for Benitez. He's able to find Haji Berry, who's been very quiet tonight. Out wide. It's Rebellion that's on it. Here comes the dribble forward from Swope Park. Camilo Benitez is able to earn his team a corner kick. Plays it out off of Barmby, who blocked the cross.
Good job from Jack Barmby, just getting back there towards the ending stages of this game. Really showing some guts there defensively. I know that's not his game, and definitely showing his spirit for the team.
Final minute and a half at the discretion of Robbie Holner. Felipe Hernandez over to take this corner kick. He will go towards the penalty spot. Zendejas was all the way forward as well. It's cleared away by T2. Marr back into the box. Shot blocked and a foul called, I believe rightly so. Looked like Hernandez, a Rebellion that went through the back of Jeremy Abobasi or Mo Jadama, one of the two.
Yeah, we'll just look at it here. It's a nice ball to the back post, and yeah, it's just a clear foul there on Mo Jadama. T2 breathes a sigh of relief here towards the ending stages of this game, as they want to see that ball as far away from their penalty box as possible.
Bobasi rises to greet the header, eventually controlled by Swope Park. 45 seconds of the added 5. Cleared long down to Lewis. It will roll all the way back to Zendejas. Zendejas will send it forward. Nathan Smith, chest down calmly. Will clear back out, trying to find Abobasi. Instead it falls to Barnathan. He chests down to Loria. Loria plays it out to Abobasi. Abobasi takes the shot over the top. 15 seconds left. Zendejas. Does he have time to push one last move forward? Robbie Holner looks at his watch. Roy Miller rises to win the header, and there's the final whistle from Robbie Holner. The 4-match skid is over for T2 as they hang on to defeat Swope Park Rangers 2-1 on the back of first half goals from Foster Langsdorff and Marvin Loria. As you look at Renzo Zambrano and Jeremy Abobasi, they get the job done tonight. Sometimes, Nat, these are the hardest ones to win when things aren't going well, things aren't going right, but T2 found a way to get it done tonight.
My hat is and his troops. Cam Knowles makes a tactical decision today to put Eric Williamson in the position that he normally has, a striker. It makes all the difference in the first half, creating chances, getting up 2 goals. The second half, they were on the back foot a little bit and get those 3 points.
Went the full 90 minutes. Know you wanted to briefly chat about that. A big, important moment over the course of the last 9 months for Roy Miller.
Congratulations to Roy Miller. I know firsthand how hard it is to come back from an Achilles shoulder here, pulling off there, and it's a great through ball there from Loria. He just touches it past Zendejas to get that first goal.
That put T2 up in the 22nd minute, 1-0. And then in the 2nd minute stoppage time of the first half, it's Marvin Loria with his 3rd of the season.
Loria just coming in, ghosting in there on the back post, and Williamson able to find him in a little bit of space. He just buries it there to give that 2nd goal to T2.
T2 with about 57% of the possession in the first half. Second half, a completely different story. Swope Park came out, really changed momentum, changed the way things looked, and it was Wilson Harris who picked up his 3rd goal of the year.
Yeah, and they just did a good job of getting numbers in the box. You see Wilson Harris there getting on the end of it. A little bit unlucky there from Madu Jadama. He puts his leg in there, and it just curls over into the back post, and McIntosh can't do anything about it.
Handful of chances for either side from that point forward, but no one else would find the back of the net. We see in the end it was Swope Park that had more of the possession, better of the shots as well, but in the end the only stat that matters, 2-1 in favor of Portland.
Yeah, it's the 3 points, and this team has to be proud of the performance tonight to really get that monkey off their back. A 4-game losing skid is so difficult to get rid of, to overcome, and I think Cam Knowles is going to be really proud of the performance of his team overall.
T2 moved to 9-8-2 on the season, 29 points, while Swope Park Rangers fall to 9-6-4 on 31 points. Well, that'll do it for us here from Merlo Field on the campus of the University of Portland in Portland, Oregon. For our entire broadcast team, as well as my broadcast partner, Nat Borchers, I'm Fletcher Johnson. We'll talk to you in 6 short days. Make it 7, or even make it 8. What do you say? For Portland Timbers and Las Vegas Lights at 2 p.m. from Providence Park on July 22nd. Portland Timbers 2, Swope Park Rangers 1. Good night from Portland, Oregon.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.